Hello friends, this is Rajiv Sharma. The topic of today's strategic analysis and video editorial is China. Well, this is a video editorial on China, not against China. Because I believe that the better relations China has with India and with the world is better, all the better for the world peace. Now, the question is, let me just sum up, give you the thought process of this video editorial in one sentence, in half a sentence. Is China a lone wolf warrior? Well, this is not I am speaking. This is whatever I am going to tell you now is based on, it is distilled on the basis of Indian and Western media reports and editorials. So, let me elaborate on this question. Is China a wolf warrior? Unfortunately, China is supposed to have already become a superpower, but unfortunately, it is not behaving like one. Wherever it sees opposition or even a spark of an opposition, it starts issuing economic threats, trade threats, or even security threats. Like, for example, it threatened Australia and New Zealand. It threatened many other countries. Why? Because 116 countries in the world have signed up to a motion rooting for an independent investigation into the origin of coronavirus pandemic, which is believed to have emanated from a Wuhan lab or Wuhan city, which China is seeking to somehow push under the carpet. Now, what has China done? It has threatened New Zealand with the trade punishments. It has already taken action against Australia on trade issues. It has banned beef imports from Australia. Next in line are dairy products and other products. What has it done with India? I'm coming to that. But on Australia, which has been its major trade partner, and for Australia, China is a huge trade partner. But look at a Global Times editorial. The Chinese, one of the Chinese state-owned papers. In fact, the entire media in China is state-owned. So, one of the editorials of Global Times said described Australia as a giant kangaroo which is working like a dog for the US. Now, let's come back to India. What has China done for India? Or vis-a-vis India as part of its wolf warrior diplomacy? Well, we know that as far as India-China trade is concerned, trade is not an option for China, not something where it can really do something to rankle India, because the India-China trade is heavily in favor of China. So, what does it do with regard to India? Well, what it does is it ramps up security pressures on India on two fronts, on two theatres. One in Ladakh in Jammu and Kashmir, and second in Sikkim in Northeast. According to one media report, one media account, for the first time ever, there are over 5,000 Chinese troops in those areas of India which, even according to Chinese claims, are beyond the Chinese claim lines. That is, they are in Indian territory. 5,000 Chinese soldiers. This started happening from the first week of May. That is about 3 weeks before. Well, China has been upping its ante in Ladakh at 5 points. 4 areas are in the Pangong Tso Lake, which is on the borders between India and China, line of actual control. There, and one is another one is along the Gyalan river banks. Well, there are reports that China has pitched up over 100 tents in the territory which is beyond its claims, which as per the Chinese admissions is the India held territory, if I were to say in Chinese language, in Chinese perspective. Now, this is something that is unforeseen, unprecedented since the Doklam crisis, which took place 3 years ago, which lasted for 73 days. This is a serious incident, and I'm sure that India is already taking recourse to whatever is within its gambit, within its jurisdiction. For example, India is beefing up its troops strength in those areas, in Ladakh as well as Sikkim. The Indian Army chief visited Ladakh recently. Now, this is something which is of serious concern. In these coronavirus times, does it behove of a superpower like China to up its ante to the naysayers of the world. Those countries, 116 countries who have signed up the motion demanding an independent probe into the origin of the coronavirus pandemic. Last week, India also signed. This has riled China even further. Now, let me end this video editorial by saying, China, it is in the greater interest of China to be friends with India in actual, in real terms. Now, things are going back to the Doklam crisis situation. Well, I foresee this crisis to be tackled at the level of National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, who is also the special representative for India-China boundary dispute talks, and the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. Well, fingers crossed. That's all I can say. So, like and comment on my video tutorial, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, folks.